Charlie George is one of the finest strikers in Arsenal's history. A boyhood fan of the Gunners, he came through the club's academy and would spend 7 years with the senior side, cementing himself as an Arsenal legend by scoring some iconic goals as well as his maverick nature. This is a story of Charlie George, a true Gunner. Charlie George was born in Islington on the 10th of October 1950. He would first attend Highbury to see Arsenal play before he could even walk, and quickly developed an affection for the club. He would often get into trouble as a child and was expelled from school. George's future teammate Bob Wilson was a sports teacher at the school, and rather than calling him Sir or Mr, George would greet him by saying, "All right, Bob." George's impressive footballing ability was gaining attention, and he would play for the Arsenal Academy side at 16. It was a dream come true for George, and he would soon rise up the ranks. He signed his first professional contract in 1968, and would make his debut the next year in a defeat to Everton. His adult sense of humour earned the respect of his older teammates, and he soon made his mark on the club. George had a series of great performances, as Arsenal would win the 1970 Intercities Fairs Cup, which included a 3-0 win over Johan Cruyff's Ajax. It ended Arsenal's 17-year trophy drought, and it made them hungry for more. But at the start of next season, George was dealt with a hammer blow. He broke his ankle in a collision with Everton goalkeeper Gordon West, and would be out for a long period. However, there was a silver lining of his injury, as he was able to return to the stands and watch the team as he had done as a boy. Bertie Mee's side, after finishing 12th the season before, were now in a title race, and after 5 months out, George would return to the side. He would score 5 times in 17 league appearances, as Arsenal won their first top-flight title in 18 years, made all the sweeter by sealing the trophy with a win away at Tottenham. George hadn't changed at all, and in a game against Newcastle, he had been constantly kicked by Magpies captain Bobby Moncur. George would grab Moncur by the collars, lift him in the air, and tell him to never kick him again. George would score the game's winning goal only moments later. It was an incredible moment for Arsenal, but they had a chance to make it even better. Arsenal had reached the FA Cup final, with George playing a huge part. He had scored in the 4th round, 5th round and the quarter-finals. They would face Bill Shankly's Liverpool for a chance to win the double. The game was tight, with neither side able to find a winner in the 90 minutes, and the match would enter extra time. But only 2 minutes into the extra period, Liverpool winger Steve Highway scored to give his side the lead. But 9 minutes later, George Graham would equalise for the Gunners. There was not long left, and many wondered where a winner would come from. Ray Clements hit a goal kick upfield, but it was headed back into the Liverpool half. Charlie George and George Graham exchanged passes, and Graham had the ball out wide. Graham played the ball to George on the edge of the box. George took a touch before blasting the ball into the net. The goal was enough to win the cup and the double for Arsenal, and George had cemented himself in Arsenal folklore, with his celebration after the goal becoming an iconic image. George fell to the floor and held out his arms in a Christ-like manner. But George did not mean anything significant by the pose, stating, "I fell down because I didn't have another drop of energy left in me. I wasn't thinking that I ought to do something that people will remember. I was just fucking knackered." George had scored one of the most important goals in the history of his boyhood club, sealing them the double, but it would be the peak of his Gunners' career. The next season, his career would start to decline. His relationship with Bertie Mee began to sour, with Mee disciplining George twice, once for headbutting Liverpool's Kevin Keegan, and once for giving a V sign to Derby fans after scoring against them. He would only score 5 goals in the 73-74 season, and was transfer listed the next year, with his relationship with Bertie Mee continuing to deteriorate. He would sign for Derby County in 1975, and experienced an excellent first season for the Rams. But afterwards, his career would go downhill, and he became a journeyman. He would play for clubs in America and Hong Kong, as well as Southampton, Nottingham Forest, Dundee United and Coventry City, before he eventually retired from the game. These days, George is back at the club he loves, working within corporate hospitality sectors at Arsenal. He remains a man adored by the Gunners faithful, as a boy who grew up loving the club and helped take them to glory. Whilst the latter part of his career was disappointing, it does not take away what he achieved for the club, and his celebration after scoring the winning goal in the 1971 FA Cup final remains an iconic image. His maverick nature may have led to his career petering out, but he still lived the dream by playing for his boyhood club, and experienced, as George himself put it, 15,000 to 20,000 fans on the North Bank chanting your name, the biggest thrill you will ever get in your life.